Right.
Okay.
Remember
Tell me
when-
when.
Right, we're on the YouTubes as well now, so hey!
Yay!
Do you remember when we were full of genuine enthusiasm?
No.
I
Never happened, now will we?
Never,
full of
it's been faked for the
enthusiasm
last
usually.
year and a half. Hello everyone, it's Stories from the Smoke Room.
Yay!
Right, we're not supposed to be doing a lock-in. It's supposed to be a full-strength version of Smoke Room tonight. But,
I mean, you could hardly call us full strength.
well, yeah, we've...
Not with me and Hannah on the same.
Adam's
And now Adam's
disappeared.
just gone.
Oh well. Let's see if we can cope without him.
This is the third week on the drop, Dave. What is wrong with you?
Right. The point is, we're massacring our material, and we haven't been able to go out for the last year to do anything to tell stories about.
Speak for
So-
yourself. I think my material is slightly crap. Thank you very much. Bastard.
So, hopefully Adam will be back in a second. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to move things around a bit. We're still going to do this weekly, but we're probably going to do the stories on the first Tuesday of the month, I think was your great idea, Steph. And then the other Tuesdays we'll do other things. Hello again, Adam.
It's going to be a classic from me tonight, I think. No.
I mean, like I've already said, my internet-y, computery thing is really playing up tonight. So you've already had a computer die. I think all of our tech is slowly dying.
Just like us, they are losing the
Will
will
to
to
live. But anyway, tonight what we've done is I've gone through some of the Richard Herring book called Emergency Questions.
It's a good book.
Although I took some advice from you, Adam. What did you say to me this afternoon?
I said stick towards the first, stay away from the end because he clearly was on a deadline. The questions towards the end haven't been proofread and make no sense.
Maybe we just need like one example from the end.
Well, I'd only got about halfway through the book anyway, so I haven't got to the end, and I just went.
It's not like you, Dave, to be half-assed at a job.
We'll get there one day.
Oh, damn.
Oh, damn. You know what? That's for 3 weeks of bullshit, Dave. I'm standing up for the rest of us.
Look, the fact that I can't even
Do it,
see
Steph. Do
Steph
it
and
for us.
she's just a pink window makes it so much more cutting. Like just the voice from above.
Yeah.
I've got these gifts for you. Anyway, yeah. Good.
One thing we need to point out tonight. I mean, it's obviously going to be as chaotic as ever.
Never.
But Hannah Platt is on quite a serious amount of legal prescription narcotics. But she's basically off her tits. Is that correct,
Yeah.
Hannah?
I think that's a fair description of how I feel.
Hannah, what day is it?
I don't fucking know. I'm talking to you, so it has to be Tuesday. Ha!
I mean, that's just sad you never talked to us any other day, mate.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right, so what I'm going to do is I've got some questions from Richard Herring's book. A couple of the questions I've tweaked, and then there's a couple of questions which are just mine. So we'll go for this, and we'll go for about an hour, and then we'll come back next week and do something else.
Then we'll send Hannah to bed.
We'll send Hannah to bed. Yeah. So
I had a little nap just before we came on, so I'll be ready.
Something tells me, look, that isn't actually accurate. Like, it's okay not to be ready. It's fine.
Thanks, Mikey.
Okay, we're going to start. We're going to start with a question which I think is fairly simple, fairly middle of the road. Right,
It's
we can
not
all
simple
we're
or
all
middle of the road,
comfortable.
is it?
If you want to drop out of a question, you can do. You're not being forced to answer them. So we'll start with this. What is the best thing you've ever done in the rain?
Oh, I know.
Oh, yes! I knew this was a good idea.
So my 19th birthday, I was at university, and on my 19th birthday, my friends were like, "Let's go out clubbing," and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really want to, but yeah, let's go. And they were like, we need a theme. And I went, no, we don't. So we had a theme. And it was, we did Army Girls and my friend Anthony. And so at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was absolutely pouring with rain, me and Anthony were singing and dancing down the road, singing in the rain, obviously, because it was singing.
Obviously,
yeah.
Obviously.
And
nice.
he tried to do the jump onto the lamppost, missed completely,
Oh no.
and landed in a big puddle, and it was great.
Oh man, I want to see that so bad.
It was beautiful. But he never missed a note.
Yeah. What a pro.
Let's just roll back a little bit. So you were all dressed up in this unwanted theme.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Colonel Kicks was with you.
No, she wasn't. We didn't know each other then.
Oh, you didn't know each other then? Oh,
No,
right.
me and Kim only met in like the last 2 years.
Aw.
We just look
Oh.
like we've been bonded.
Was it one of those
Beautiful.
when you met Kim that it was like, yeah, you know what I mean? You just
Stole a cat
click with someone.
like that.
You stole a cat.
Yeah, met on a hen weekend. Stole a cat. Friends for life.
Mm-hmm.
Stole a cat.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I want
Go on.
to know that.
We call it liberated, but stole a cat.
Oh yeah, I liberated some money from the bank. Doesn't work that way. What happens?
Maybe I'll
Steph?
tell that story.
Yeah, we can't use all the stories up during the lockdown.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
They're fucking like gold dust at the
I shall write it on my list.
I've got a post-it next to my computer now, and I'm going, oh, a story idea. Yes, I'll write that down. And then I look back later and go, no, that's terrible.
Anyone else want to say what's the best thing they've done in the rain?
In the rain.
I think
Sort of a general note of caution: if you ever find yourself, the weird quirky thing about wheelchairs and using them is that when it rains, there's nowhere for the rain to there's no runoff,
Oh no.
and so when you're in somewhere like Stoke-on-Trent, for example.
Ladies and gentlemen, this story happened in Stoke-on-Trent.
It has its own microclimate. And it can be raining nowhere else. in the
Stoke-on-Trent.
world.
Stoke-on-Trent for the
And
wheelchair.
Yeah. And I mean, I'd only nipped out for some biscuits. But in the space of 3 minutes, it's biblical rain, but drowned rat does not even cover it. It's really quite aggressive.
You know it's bad rain when you're having to wring out your own clothes in the bath.
Yeah.
The,
And it was still a while before the carers were due as well, so I had to sit there for
Oh no.
at least an hour, sort of.
It's not funny at all.
Covered
Haven't
in
you
rain
got-
water
right,
and maybe also tears.
You know when people have got the Motability scooters and they've got proper
Yeah.
covers? Haven't you got a cover for your chair?
Yeah, like a little bubble.
Bubble.
Bubble. Bubble.
Is it something
No.
that we're going to have to make for you, Mike?
I mean, why not?
Could this be
Oh my god!
a lock-in episode where we make you a rain cover?
Where we design you a wheelchair.
To read when we're back at arena.
Yeah.
That can be the whole. Where
Just
best idea
using,
ever.
yeah,
The
just
four of you have to design some sort of functional thing for me to use for the wheelchair, and then I'll mark it out
like a generation game challenge that we all have to do.
Although I
I
think
wanted to be involved.
I
in.
think Hannah's just,
Brilliant.
I think Hannah has ruined everything by simply saying, "Let's get Mikey a poncho," which probably would be.
Oh. That would be the easiest.
Get Mikey a poncho. Get Mikey a poncho.
Bum 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 bum.
I'm making that hash. Thank you very much.
That's your ringtone, Mike.
This is the greatest idea ever. And I love,
I love it.
Poncho, so why not?
Anyone else want to talk about what's the best thing they've done in the rain?
I think the best game of rugby I ever played, rugby league, because I'm a fucking.
Oh,
Hey, hang on! Don't you insult the game of the people, your posh rugby union ways. You can
I'm
watch
still it,
union.
as
You have
much
to
as I
play
like.
league. It's just a more fun game to watch. It's quicker. As much as I
Really?
adore Union, it's because Union is Union is the First World War. It's a gentleman's game, but it's really slow and attritional. Rugby League is the Second World War, which is everyone is bastards, but it's really fast and there's better tanks. So it's.
I mean, if I can just
Can
dive
you
in.
clip that, please,
If I
John?
can just dive in, does anybody really care?
The North.
I care quite a lot, but
The
also
North.
I'm so confused by your metaphor that
It's a valid metaphor. One is slow and attritional, the other one is blitzkrieg. But yeah, I think the only game of rugby league I ever played, which I actually felt like I came off and went, fuck yeah, I was probably one of the best players on the pitch today. It was in the wetness and rain on a scale that even biblical Egypt would go, ooh, a bit much. It was ridiculous. It started off on a pitch and it ended up, we finished it in a swamp. It was amazing. My favorite thing was a guy who clearly at the very end was like through to the try line and he fell with the ball 5 meters short and then just slid the rest of the way. We were like, this is going to be fun when I get in the car to go home. My mum was not a happy bunny. But I was, because I was making a mess. And I was a boy. I was a boy? Yeah, sure. I was a wee lad, and that
I
is the
was
most
a
fun.
boy.
Rugby's one of those games that should be played in the rain anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Football should be playing the rain. It's just better.
Nah, football should be played in the light, drizzly mist.
Just enough
Mizzle.
for good sliding.
Yeah, but you don't want... I was a keeper, so rain is fucking terrible.
Oh yeah, not for
Right.
you, but
Yeah.
like for everybody else.
For the
rain.
normal people.
The normal people...
For the
Why-
other
Why
players.
aren't goalkeepers normal?
I mean, do you want the
Because they
answer?
use their hands, Adam.
Do
It's
you-
called football.
It's called rugby football, and they use their hands in that.
Can I just say?
Yeah, but no one calls it that.
Already, Hannah's commentary of football is better than Martin Tyler's.
You are welcome.
You're quite right, actually.
Do you remember Fan Zone Sky used to have years ago?
Yes,
They should bring that back, but for Hannah.
but for codeine up.
Yeah, just to provide.
I mean, this
I mean-
this could be a show, couldn't it? Hannah commentating on
Yeah.
football while on codeine.
While off my face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We could
I'm up for it.
have a funny name. But I
Any
can't.
excuse for that sweet, sweet codeine?
I've got a big box full.
Have they tried to farm you off with temazepam?
No, not yet.
That's
Yeah.
bad stuff, that is.
Mm,
You think you're off your tits with codeine. Temazepam. Oh, what?
You see stuff.
Yeah.
mm.
You're even more
Don't
off your
want that.
tits and you can't have a shit, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It just blocks up the entire system. It's terrible.
With this, I don't know whether it's a normal thing, but I keep falling asleep while
Remember,
I'm
this
doing
is on the internet,
something.
Hannah, before you share.
No, I keep falling asleep for like 2 or 3 minutes, but like a really deep sleep with like a dream and everything, and then I wake up like, what the fuck was that? And it's only been a few minutes. Yeah, it's weird. Anyway,
Keep watching, folks.
As
You
you
never
were.
know what's going to happen.
I could fall asleep. That's
feel
why I
like-
had a nap before we came on. I'm fine.
I feel like I need to be Hannah's filter tonight.
Nah, fuck it, no filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Fuck
every
the
so
filter.
often, I'm just going to check that this is what you want to be saying on the internet.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries.
H has just put something in the chat, which you can read on the chat. Not the best thing, but the most memorable thing was in-laws family holiday. Everyone else was in a caravan, but of course we're in a tent. I've never seen it rip down so much that first night. Thankfully, we were in the pub having a bit of dinner, but we got back and found our tent had collapsed under the sheer force of the rain. So we had to stay in the in-laws' caravan porch.
Oh,
Nice.
no.
In the awning.
Under the awning.
Under the awning.
Worst story I've ever heard.
Oh, no.
That sounds truly terrible.
It's made my heart
It's the
hurt.
epitome of British holidaying.
I used to work with someone who every summer went to Germany for 6 weeks on a caravan holiday.
Why?
Oh, and it was always exactly the same place every
Was it
year.
for Oktoberfest, at least?
No. This was the 6 weeks holiday.
It wasn't even fun.
And he'd come back and insist on showing us the photos.
The same photos
Why?
every year.
Right. He'd do weird things, like he had a new caravan one year and he took a photo of his beer fridge in the caravan, right? And he went, look, this is the beer fridge full with 12 beers. This is the beer fridge with 9 beers. This is it with 6 beers. This is it with 3 beers. This is it empty. And this is it full again. And I went, you could have saved a picture and just duplicated the first one. And he didn't like that.
That is a sort of mundanity. I don't even know if that's a word. I have somehow managed to sculpt a career out of.
But every other photo was of fucking awnings.
Oh,
Like,
no.
caravanners seem to be obsessed with awnings.
Just, like, go away and do that and let us be.
Yeah.
Just go to a field, do what you need to do, and leave everyone else out of it.
Because I'm in a B&B with a bag of MDMA powder.
Yeah. I'm in
that would be an interesting
house
photo
with
series.
walls.
That'd be a good
and-
photo.
I've got a lot of MDMA. I've got less MDMA. This is the cupboard that had the MDMA in, and this is just pictures of the bin and the floor. I was on a lot of MDMA.
And this is Trevor from Bristol who I met, and we had a chat about Star Wars while on MDMA. Oh, it's so heavy. Similar to H, I was camping with Rob Kemp
Nice.
at the McCuntleth Comedy Festival, and there was a big group of us.
Try saying that when you have.
Yeah.
100%.
Try saying that on MDMA.
There was a whole group of us all in different tents, and me and Rob had a tent. And we got up the last morning, and he was...
Already, this is the greatest love story ever told.
It was drizzle. It was drizzle. And me and Rob went, everyone else packed their tent down. And me and Rob was like, shall we pack the tent down? He was like, nah, we're going to get breakfast first. It'll probably knock off. Went to got breakfast.
It did not knock
didn't
off.
knock off.
It never knocks off in Wales.
Oh, it was the most torrential downpour ever. That destroyed the tent. It broke like all the frame in the tent. There was points where I was structurally integral. And you know when you get that point in the rain where you're trying to stay dry, and then something flips in your mind, and you're like, "I'm fucking wet now."
Oh, I love that moment.
It's brilliant, isn't it? And I think it ended up with me and Rob just rolling around in a puddle.
Oh, it's like...
Well, someone's living the dream, aren't they?
You know that bit in Harry Potter with the weird dance between Harry and Hermione? It's like that. But
That wasn't weird. That was beautiful.
I mean, that was like Daniel Radcliffe's moves in that bit. The question. I mean,
Don't be
I know I
hating.
wanted- I
That
know
was
I
a
wanted
moment.
more.
It was beautiful.
Well, it's me told.
I don't know what my top rain moment is,
Why not?
Okay.
but I remember.
I can't wait for you to watch this back.
I'm never watching it back. It's like the Christmas party one. I'll never ever remember.
Oh, I'll
clip
tell
that,
you
John,
what. I'll
please?
tell you. Yeah, Johnson's already clipping that. I'll tell you what. This is going to be all over Discord in the clip section.
Thanks,
Just
Johnsy.
the codeine dream of Hannah Platt.
Did she start a sentence with 4 R's then?
All I'm thinking when you talk about rain is like I went to Donington to before Download. It used to be called Ozfest because I'm old.
So I'm waiting for a fax to come through. What are
Can
you
you-
talking about?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Just,
You're old. When I went there, it was Monsters of Rock.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's after Monsters of Rock, pre-download, and it rained a lot. But I was like, we were down the front, and I really wanted to see Tool. They were my favorite band of all time, and so I was like, I'm staying here at the front, and it started to absolutely piss it down. And where we were stood was like where the edge of the bit over the stage was. So we had the whole runoff from the whole stage came down like a waterfall over us, and like we were so wet that it was like just going to embrace it now. And so we were just like absolutely soaked to the skin during Cradle of Filth were on. And the guy they had like stilt walkers and like fire breathers and stuff, and then the guy Danny Filth is his name. I'm not a fan, but they were good live.
I bet in real life his name's Stephen.
Yeah, his real name was like Jeff.
Hello, my name is Kevin.
He literally like there was a roll of thunder, and he went and he shouted like "Come forth the storm" or something, and it like the rain went, and everyone was like yes, and it was a magical moment. But I'm not a big Cradle of Filth fan, I have to say.
You know what? I'd forgotten they existed until you said the name.
Yeah.
And then, like all of my teenage angst resurfaced.
Yeah, I think this was like it must have been about 2002-ish. And System of a Down were on as well, who were fucking great.
I
Yeah.
had
For
a
anyone-
lot of physio that year.
Yeah, for anyone who hasn't heard of Cradle of Filth, they're a very popular beat combo.
A popular beat combo of the early 2000s.
Bebop. Okay,
And
yeah.
they do some incredibly subtle love songs.
Yes, very.
I mean, you
very
mock,
subtle.
but they actually do.
I mean,
Right. Do you want another question?
yes,
No,
please.
yes, I mean, yes.
You can not
Vibrant
answer
giant
this.
scallion smoocher.
You can not answer this.
What?
You can what?
It's in the chat. Everyone carry on.
Oh yes. You can answer one half of this or the other half. What the hell is she doing?
Is that the question? I don't know.
Just had to wake myself up.
Twitch.
Carry on.
It's Twitch. No female nipples. It's Twitch.
I've got a jumper on.
What is your favourite name for either male genitals or female genitals?
You can tell Richard Herring wrote these, can't you?
Yeah. Female genitals, my favourite name is Foof.
Oh yeah.
It's
You
amazing.
got the foof. Yeah. It's just a fun word to say.
It's the Foof.
Geraldine Smith.
No one's ever called it that. No, they haven't.
I just did, so.
I'm going to Google it right now, and if anything comes up, it's a work computer. Oh well. Geraldine's Myth.
Yeah, they said Smith.
Oh, Geraldine Smith.
Myth. Yes.
Not, hang on. So I think you said Geraldine's Myth. No, you meant just Geraldine Smith.
Like, that's
Right.
what I call her.
That's what I call her in the third person. Geraldine. Geraldine.
Geraldine.
I think Hannah just had an out-of-body experience
Yeah.
and looked down at herself.
I don't think she wanted that to be public.
I'll be honest, I don't think we can top that
I,
answer.
no, I'm not even sure a funny name for the Willy will work. Next question, I think, Dave.
The question, actually, Hannah, is what's your favourite name for them as a kind of as a collective.
I understood the
not
question.
necessarily your
You
own.
know,
Geraldine Smith.
I understood the question. I just was being hilarious. It's what I do, Dave.
You were.
I'm
you
funny.
Sorry, what was that? It's Dave, it's just what I do. It's just,
Dave, it's just
Some of
what
us
I
are
do.
naturally funny, Dave.
Some of us just like to subvert expectations in order to create comedic effect.
I know
What the fuck
I'm
is
going to
that?
end up having a meeting tomorrow, and someone's going to come in the meeting called Geraldine Smith, and I'm not going to know what to do.
I'm not going to be able to watch The Vicar of Dibley ever again.
Is she called Geraldine Smith?
She's called
Great.
Geraldine Granger, isn't she?
Yeah.
Okay. So, does anyone want to have a go for the purple-headed womb broom?
Oh, never, ever say that again. Never.
I'm sure there was
Never
a song.
say that. If
There
you
was
ever say that again, I'm going to appear wherever you are and I'm going to scowl at you and you are going to feel terrible.
Dave, I'm texting you a word because I'm not sure whether I've booked it.
Is it the belly tickle?
It's
Ross?
awful, isn't it? It's awful.
What
Dave,
about?
I'm
What?
texting you a word because I'm not sure whether I've dreamt this conversation between us.
Oh, right,
Meaty
okay.
stick.
And I'm
I'm
also
going to
not
start
sure
saying.
whether-
No, yeah,
Isn't-
that did happen. Yes.
Isn't there a parody of We Didn't Start the Fire? But it's by Billy Joel. But it's the chorus is basically slang names for penises.
Didn't
I'm
Rob
sure-
do that?
Yeah, Rob did a song at the end of his one
About
show.
the
didn't he?
penis museum?
Yeah. There was
No.
all different names for
No.
penises. It
Did
was
he do
brilliant.
that, Amanda?
Is it,
Sorry?
is it a we-
No. Did he do that on the improv gigs?
I
He
can't.
did a lot.
I think he
It's-
sang it for us in the pub. I don't think he did it in the gig. I think, or maybe he did.
I
I've
know he did-
definitely heard him do the
I know he
penis
did
song.
singing during the gig.
Maybe it was that then, yeah.
Next question.
Oh, there's a section of the book was questions for kids, right? But I thought this was a good question.
Steph's face.
What's the biggest lie an adult has told you?
It's just around the corner. Right. Sounds
Right.
speedy, but it's not. My mum,
Go on, Steph.
obviously, my mum didn't drive, or did, but we only had one family car and my dad used it. So she made us walk everywhere. I'm a very lazy person and I do not like to walk, even as a child. So obviously, you'd be like, are you there? And all the time it's just around the corner and we'd be walking for like another 10 minutes. So, Mama, you're a liar. It's just around the corner.
Yeah, Audrey.
Yeah, Audrey.
Oh, I don't.
I forgot her name was Audrey.
Or I have read the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
You're not being told that. I think what's the biggest lie I've been told by an adult? I'm not going to count all the stupid ones you told when you're a kid because that's just like as in like Father Claus is real. I love you. All that.
They had to
nonsense.
tell me that Santa wasn't real when I was about 3 because I was too scared of him coming into the house.
Oh.
That's the most hilarious reason parents are very good. Like,
They were like, "No, it's fine. He's not real." And I was like, "Oh, thank God for that."
"You're real son."
Mummy, Daddy, a man bringing presents to everyone. That sounds like socialism.
Yeah.
Yes, comrade. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-da.
Were my parents the only parents that told me that when the Ice Cream Man's music was playing, it meant he hadn't got
No, mine
No.
too. Oh,
Oh
my God.
no.
Mine did
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
And I was
no.
but I was old enough to go, no,
So sad.
that's clearly rubbish. But obviously not with a beard. Mother, that's clearly rubbish.
I've
I
actually
think you'll
put-
find, Mother, they're playing green sleeves, and that means that ice lollies are on 2 for 1.
What tune does your Ice Cream Man play? Mine plays "Do You Ken John Peel?"
There's one round here that plays green sleeves.
Ours used to be green sleeves. Maybe it's a West Mids thing.
Maybe.
We know the
I haven't
ice cream.
seen an ice cream van for
It's
ages.
his son and my
It's
brother.
because it's not summer, mate.
There is that, Mike.
I mean,
I think they probably weren't coming round last year because of all the.
Are they allowed to serve?
Maybe
I
not.
I definitely saw a couple.
There would be now because they're takeaways, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I said
Those,
in the summer. I had the last ice cream I had was in the summer. I went
Oh,
to an ice cream van,
nice.
and I had a fucking overpriced Maxibon.
I had a cornetto
Oh, I love a
tonight.
maxi bon
I
though.
had a cornetto tonight, and the thing fell apart.
Oh,
Disintegrated in my hand.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what you get for not buying it from an ice cream van.
which cornetto was it?
With the mint chocolate.
How many was it? 2 or just 1 cornetto?
Give it to me.
Can I share a
No.
contribution from our friend H in the chat, please?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
that's brilliant.
My granddad told me that reindeer don't like carrots. Their favourite is a bowl of water with raw peeled potatoes. It wasn't until I was older that I realised how hilarious it was, as it meant that one of my parents had to take a bite out of a raw potato. Oh.
Genius!
That is
Evil
brilliant.
genius!
What a weird lie to tell.
My dad convinced me that Santa didn't like mince pies and a glass of sherry. He liked to choose an onion carb and a Calistella.
Yes.
I like how we can tell a lot
That's
about
what he
all...
wanted.
See, my Father Christmas, because it's Father Christmas, not Santa, first of all, was a big fan of a brandy, and one of your mum's, one of those mince pies.
Oh,
Oh.
dear me.
So
Christmas is just
every year from about the age of 3, I would convince Dad to set up the camera in the living room Christmas Eve, and so he could film Santa coming. And miraculously, every Christmas morning, it never quite recorded.
Ah,
That's probably up there with the biggest line. But like, it's not. I don't think it's harmed me. I'm not bitter about it. He says, having left the flags up from Christmas.
there's a chance he might be fooled and come again.
yes, it has been
And this
snowing.
time I'll be
Absolutely.
ready with my Polaroid.
I obviously went through this about 2 hours ago to get these questions, and I've really struggled thinking about it. I haven't quite got an
What?
answer. I can't
Is
think.
anyone else a little bit scared that Hannah is holding her hands like Mr. Burns and staring sort of menacingly?
I'm just trying to listen.
You were definitely going, I can make my fingers match up.
Yeah,
You were
that is what I was
definitely
doing.
Hannah on Cody.
She's got the same pose as the people on the panel at my drama school audition.
I think my Wi-Fi is a bit dodgy, so every now and then it freezes and it comes back and you're just mocking me. So that's nice.
It knows. Wasn't mocking, it was friendful jest.
Thanks for the friendful jest.
Yeah, I could think of a time when I've been really badly lied to. Or I definitely must have, or it's one of those things where, you know, when they say, if you don't know who like the dumb person is in your group of friends, it's you.
Hmm.
So it could be that if you don't know any lies, it's because you're the liar. It could be that. As I've said on here, I do have quite a preference for little white lies about people.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah,
you were the
Neil
one-
Redding, keeping bees, he's still one of my favourites.
I love that.
Convincing people he'd worked with for years that he was a beekeeper. Not even convincing, just feeding them the line and letting them convince
Just a
themselves.
little. Mm.
It was beautiful. Okay, another question. What's the worst swap you've ever made?
Oh, that's fucking easy, man.
Oh,
Was it the computer that died on you today?
No, that was great. That computer was free. Well, salvaged from work. It's clearly it's going to be without a shadow of a doubt the time I was betrayed by a friend, and it wasn't actually an original shiny Charizard. It was a fake.
I mean, to be fair,
It wasn't a
I
what?
I would wager that Adam's worst swap is probably most of his fantasy football team from this season.
Hang on, no. All the players I had beforehand were equally shit, and all the ones I've brought in have been equally shit. I have gained and lost nothing.
I feel like there's a fantasy football league we're not being invited to, Hannah.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I haven't
Well,
been
don't
invited
forget,
to
Hannah,
either.
thanks, yeah.
It's not what you're thinking of. It's not footballers we have fantasies with.
I don't want to be in that.
We've
then.
got our own one of those anyway.
It's a very one-man team.
No, there's others.
Yeah, there's that other one whose name I can't remember, but he's in there as well.
Ruddy.
Yeah.
Steph and Hannah,
Ruddy.
could you make a hottest 11 for us, please? Thank you.
Okay.
Do you need any time, Steph, or have you got it
I
there?
think I could do because I need to whittle it down from about 44.
That's fine. You can make it the hottest semi-final
Okay.
because that's 4 teams, 4 11. Yeah,
Okay.
good.
Let's take some guesses. I mean, obviously, Troy Allray's in there.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously,
goal.
now, John Ruddy's in there.
John Ruddy, yeah. Jesus Christ, that man is beautiful.
If we go, I think we should go from the back forwards. We know what we're doing. In goal, I'm going David De Gea.
No, he's vile.
No, I'm saying in goal would be John Ruddy, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Steph?
John Ruddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
John Ruddy in goal.
I don't care.
At the back, where did Peter Beardsley play?
Strong.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Steph.
you're in for a treat.
Google Peter Beardsley.
He's gonna look like a wet welly, and Peter Beardsley. What the hell is that?
That.
Why does he have no neck? What's the matter with him? Did he take a header at speed? What happened?
I might be speaking out of turn.
I think
If I am, I apologise. But am I right in thinking he got done
Go
for
for
being
it.
racist?
I mean, he looks the
Yeah.
type, doesn't he?
I feel like he
I've
might
got
have done.
a feeling he did. Talk amongst yourselves, chat.
Well, should we? Well, you guys do that, and then should we continue asking questions while you guys?
Oh yeah, he got banned.
You know,
He got
sexy football
banned.
is sexy
He got
so-
banned from football for 7 months for racist language.
Hannah, I'm going to send you a link. There's 50 of them to choose from. Have a look.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, another question then. Are we doing for time? Fine. What is the best, the craziest, the stupidest, or the funniest thing you've ever done with snow? Or in snow, or around snow?
This is not something that I've done, but I was around. Because when have I ever been in snow? Come on, like when is that ever a sensible decision? My family did make a snow woman and put a bra on it. It was quite.
Oh.
So that
what was
means
she
they could
called?
put that on Twitch.
Cloud.
Without the bra, it can't go on Twitch.
Woman we did with the bra years ago. Does she have a name? Apparently, I'm making this up. But
Oh, nothing worse than being like,
Clip that, please, John.
this is the content Twitch wants.
Mikey caught out in a lie.
nothing worse.
I feel I've got video footage of me. There'd been quite a heavy snowfall a few years back, under a tree in the park, and I shake the tree, which is always an immense amount of fun. Stand under a tree covered in snow, shake it. Honestly,
gold.
you're 11 again. It's brilliant.
I don't think I've done anything crazy in the snow.
Do you know how in films everyone's like they're like hugging, rolling around in snow? Because it's all. I have attempted that, and I'm going to tell you for a fact now, it is not a fun experience.
No.
You get squashed and cold and wet.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun.
And then people roll over your arms a lot. It's just not fun. I have terrified my parents by claiming or acting like I was going to slide down a hill, quite a steep hill covered in snow, and then just leaping off the top and landing at the bottom of the steep hill.
Okay.
But luckily the floor was there to brace my fall.
To be fair, every time you fall, the floor tends to be there.
Yep, that was good. Yep.
It can be relied upon.
Science with Dave.
Science with Dave.
I think one year when I was at uni, we had a lot of snow, and I was in like a shared house, and we all. I think we had. I don't know why we had to, but for some reason we thought it would be fine to just pile into my friend's shitty old car and try and drive to the supermarket in this like crappy. It was so old it still had a choke. It was like this old, like rusty car. And then the brakes didn't really work. And we were like, this is fine. So there's like 4 of us in the car just like driving to the shops like this. And I just kept shouting, hooray, we're going to die. And because I thought that would just bring the mood up. If we do die, at least we'll be, happy. That was stupid, a thing to do in the snow.
I've seen a dwarf pony frolic in snow in person, and that was adorable.
Love those tiny ponies.
Little pony did a bouncy.
There used to be a rock club by Junction 10 called Junction 10. Proper dive, but seen some great bands there. And some mates of mine used to go there, and it was snowing quite heavily. And they say that when you go out in the snow in the car, you need to prepare. Just in case you break down or something. So you need to have blankets and a flask of soup and all this stuff. Right. They did all that. And they genuinely lived a 25-minute walk away from it was like, you haven't got to do any of this. If the worst thing that could possibly happens, you just walk.
You can just walk.
It's fine.
Nice.
I just vaguely remember getting a lift home one time by my friend and her boyfriend, and had to lean out the window to see because the inside of his windscreen was frozen. When I went to Donington, we was coming back and it was freezing cold, and my mate had to drive with his windows down, and I'm in the back in just a t-shirt and a denim jacket, right? And the reason we had to do that, he couldn't put his blower on because 2 weeks earlier his windscreen had just shattered, and there was glass in the blower system. So if you turn the blower on, it was like the Matrix. It was like just glass firing out at you.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh, to be young again.
Oh, the joys of youth.
I
gay
mean,
and
No.
Jonty's just asked, where was the club by Junction 10? So as you come off Junction 10 Island and you go towards Wolverhampton, not the turning for the cinema, the next turning. There used to be a big pub on the corner, I think, called the Park Inn. And it was like round the back there. It's houses now. There's some new houses on there. But it was a proper like rock bikers club. When in the one night, you used to go in and you had like the main entrance, like a corridor with the toilets, and then a big double door, and then you go into the main club. And went in, opened the double doors. Well, as I got to the double doors, they burst open, and the Hells Angels were the Oh no, sorry. Let me get this right. The Hell's Angels were the security. Went in, opened the doors, and no, sorry. Let me get this right. I was going to the toilet. Opened the double doors. Two guys come in. Yeah, no. It's just remembering it. It was like 30 years ago. Two guys walked in just as I was going to the toilet, and they were dressed up as like trendies. They were obviously in the wrong club. All the bikers were at the back of the club, and they stood at the double doors. They looked round and went, "Look at this bunch of fucking cunts." And I thought, probably not the place to do that. Went to the toilet, came out the toilet, as the double doors burst open, and there's a biker with one under each arm and just blood pouring from their face.
Jesus Christ.
And it was like, they literally lasted as long as it took me to have a piss.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
It was not the place where you'd want to kick off. It used to be really good because there was very little trouble. Because when it was, the Angels would just sort it out.
Yeah, I used to drink in a biker's pub because there was never any trouble.
The problem they had,
why would you?
Yeah, the problem they had was after a while, anyone who was there for trouble didn't bother going. So they got bored, so they just like start beating people up for the hell of it.
Oh.
And it was like, that's when it started going a bit downhill. When all of a sudden one of your mates would just get dragged off and have a kicking.
I think anywhere's gonna go a bit downhill once violence.
Yeah.
Is wrong.
Yeah. Takes the edge off the night, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes the shine off.
First time I ever went to, there used to be a nightclub in Warsaw Town Centre called The Fifth. And you had to wear
What happened to the other four?
Oh no, yeah. You had to wear a shirt and tie to get in.
Oh God.
And I had to wear a shirt, and I had to wear my school shirt actually. I was like 18. Because that was the only shirt I had. And I had to borrow a tie off my dad, just a black tie, because I hadn't got one.
Like you were going to a funeral?
Yeah. And
Did you come out looking like Rambo at 4 a.m?
and it's all this fall to the floor dance music. I wasn't really impressed. I'm like, oh, this is a bit shit, this is.
When you say, can you give us an example? Because if someone says fall to the floor, I just think of Boots Beside Your Head.
Yeah.
Oh, that, okay. I thought I was making quite a humorous. It turns out it was just
accurate.
Factual. I was right.
Yeah, it was my very first time in one of these trendy nightclubs, and they had a balcony. I'm standing on the balcony looking over, and I just see these two guys start rucking, and then the one just picks up a glass and goes, and just glasses this guy, like
shit.
Ambulances, and it was like, good in here, isn't it? Think I'll go to Junction 10.
The best fight I've ever seen in a nightclub was Planet. Like,
you know, I've never been in Planet.
Like, you ain't missing anything, really. Like,
I feel
it was
like
good. It was good, but like, it was one of those. It was good when you were absolutely out of your face drunk. But like, if you were sober at the end of the night when the lights came on, you kind of went,
Oh, those are the best, because those are always the best clubs, though. The ones you go,
yeah.
I'm glad I'm not here sober, because if I was, I would probably demand to see their fire, like escape plan.
It was so bad, but we were in the smoking area, which is like directly outside the front of like Planet, and there was, I remember we were stood one
Is that
side.
even legal from a distancing point of view?
I mean, I don't know now, but it was like 2008, 2009. So like, you know,
From a distance.
But we were the one side, and there was a couple the other side, and this girl, bless it, like this girl and this guy were like going at it. They were having a full on row, and I can remember she was going, "I'm really sorry. Can we just have a fun night? Can we just have it?" Like, and he punched her square in the face. Like, I have never heard a noise like, because he punched her, and her nose like literally just went over her face. Well, of course, everyone in the smoking like place jumped in. Like all the girls were like trying to get this girl out the way, apart from me, who thought I was one of the lads. Everyone else was trying to get this bloke. Well, he ran off over the car park, quickly followed by all of the doormen. So like there was a couple that like kept everyone back going, we'll deal with it. And started ringing police, rang an ambulance for this girl, and like all this sort of stuff. Well, in the time that it took them to catch up with this boy in the car park, the police had arrived. So they were and an ambulance. So the ambulance was looking at her like trying to like stem the blood that is literally pouring out of her face. And all this girl shouting is, "It's going on my dress!" And I'm like, priorities. Like so.
Yeah.
It should be. It probably should be. Where is my drink?
Yes, like you're not allowed to take drinks outside, so they wouldn't even give them one for the pain. So this police car pulls up as the security are bringing back this boy who is like this with his head down, and like a security guard's got him either side and are just dragging his feet behind him, and they walked him up to the police car. The police officer looked at this guy, lifted his head up, who is now like got two eyes out here. His nose is like over here. He's got a split lip. He looks a right state. And this police officer looked straight at the two security guard and went, "How did that happen?" And they both, without even looking at each other, went, "Tripped." Threw him in the back of the police car and walked off. The whole of the smoking area just going, "Ah!" Like everyone was trying to buy him drinks all night. It was the best thing I've ever seen. Like, it was beautiful. Yeah.
Oh my god, drama.
That girl.
I saw a funny one outside Walkabout in Wolverhampton the once. These fights are like spilled out onto the road outside, and there's all these people fighting. And this guy kind of like goes in, and another guy turns around and just goes bang, and proper like MMA crack. And this guy's just like poof, really dazed him, and he was like, "Bloody hell, that was a punch." Right?
Welcome to Wolverhampton.
And he's
sounds
like,
anything but a walkabout.
yeah. and he like. He's stunned for a bit, and he kind of shakes himself, and it's like goes back into the fight. Same guy turns around and goes bang, and hits him again.
Oh my god!
Oh, no.
And he was just like, me and my mate was almost like, "Dude, just come out."
This one's not for you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I'm very thankful for the lack of accessible taxis beyond 10 p.m. of a weekend, if this is the
what you're missing out on.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. Again, in Wolverhampton, it makes it sound like quite a rough. Well, it is quite a rough place.
Twins with Beirut in it.
I
Twins with Beirut.
Down the road, I saw a guy smack a woman square in the face. Me and my mate started moving, and other people got there, and a couple of guys got this bloke, got hold of him, and the woman who'd just been punched jumped on his assailants and started like pulling their hair and punching them. So they gone to help her, and
God.
To this day, I've never understood what went on there.
Because people are stupid.
Yeah, and probably drunk or something.
My fights are just so much nicer than all of yours because they don't feature a woman being beaten. Missing out. I got two. One was a rugby one during a university match. We were playing, I think, Nottingham Uni, and there was like a 14-man pylon. And I just looked at this dude and went, "Do you want to get involved?" And he went, "No. Shall we say we got involved?" Yeah. We were like, "Okay, cool. Well, let's just say that we had a scrap, right?" And that was great fun. We bought each other a pint after the game. Lovely man. And then in like the O2 in Leicester, There was again, I wasn't properly in it, but there was a fight going on behind me. I turned around and just did what I normally do in fights, which is just hug the assailants. And then I felt something amazing. My friend described it. I was hugging these two guys. I was like, "Stop it!" And then I felt someone like hand on my shoulders, and then he'd gone. And what happened was someone had like, so I'm 6'2". These guys are similar sort of height, and he'd jumped over us, like hands on our shoulders, and just kind of like leapfrogged over everyone. I was like, "Way!" I was like, "Okay, that's fucking cool." And that's my entire. Oh, and I've been punched once. That's my entire fighting experience.
Let's have a nice question.
Yeah, go on then.
Was that one for kids? Sorry, did you say?
Yeah, I don't know how we got on
How
to
did
that.
we turn that into kids?
What children's toy or accessory do you wish they made in adult size?
Oh, those red and yellow cars
What?
Yes.
with an engine.
What?
Those little red and yellow
Yeah.
plastic cars.
The
Them,
Matchbox.
almost
yeah.
Oh yeah.
almost all kids' clothing with dinosaurs on it should be made in adult sizes.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You had a dinosaur T-shirt on last week, Hannah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Didn't Smart Cars make
More though.
a series of their car that were coloured the same as those red and yellow cars?
I don't know. I'm not buying a smart car.
I want trainers with lights in and also those wheelie trainers.
Yeah.
Actually, Johnson
Yeah.
has just put in the chat
What?
Heelys.
What am I agreeing
Yeah.
with that for? I'm literally 4 massive wheels. Oh,
You have
You've
got,
got
you've
your
got
own.
one really big wheelie trainer. Well, yours is electric as well. It's better than the wheelie trainers. And it doesn't go... diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle.
I am a little bit jealous when I see a kid. It
Full
always
stop.
happens in the man
Weird.
centre. Just go past on the Heelys. Going.
Yeah, I really want some. I've got
You
stupid big
You
feet.
can get them in big girl sizes.
No, because I can't wear girl shoes. Can I have to wear boy shoes because of my stupid big feet?
Oh, how big are your feet?
Size
Oh.
9.
Oh.
That's fucking huge.
Steph. Oh.
No, I was
Thanks,
good.
Steph.
No, I went to go, don't ask her that. And then you said it, so I was like, oh. Not,
I don't
oh,
mind saying I've got a size 9 feet.
Yeah, but I'm saying you might not have wanted to have shared that information.
Thanks, Steph. You've got my back, and I
You know.
appreciate it.
I am your internet filter.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
just googled for Heelys size 9. I will let you know what my response and my results are. Adult Heelys.
Thanks.
What is this?
John T, you can
bet
get
they're really
adult
expensive,
Heelys.
UK size 9. They do like my size.
Jonty, please, can we both get a pair of Heelys and go around town
You can
together
get
on them?
SpongeBob on them.
Oh,
What?
have we got rainbow ones? I want rainbow ones.
Hang on, I thought you didn't want the women's ones. Fine, I'll look in the women's section. Jeez.
I want rainbow ones.
No, they don't have
Rainbows
rainbow
aren't
ones.
women.
They
Rainbows
don't
are for
have.
everyone.
They don't have. They don't have rainbow ones, but they do have them in my size.
Have they got
Oh,
white ones that I can paint
ones.
rainbows on myself?
Yeah, they've got like a really nice, like unicorny, like sort of pearlescent colour, which you can
Mm.
paint rainbows on. That would look
Yeah.
cool.
Is that the Motion Plus adults?
That's the Reebok BB4 500
Oh
low.
gosh, we're just so good.
John T needs size 13 or 14.
They don't do anything other than a 12.
Oh.
They've got Beavis and Butthead ones.
Okay.
I mean, should we just cancel the rest of the podcast because I am busy.
How are we doing? Yeah, I'll tell you what. Another couple of questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll go back to buying Hoolies.
Yes.
Yeah, fair.
Then I'll go to bed.
Well, I've only got. I've only got 4 questions left.
Oh, do them all. Do them all.
You can get Chubba Chub Converse ones. Sorry,
I said that and no one reacted.
I was too
Didn't
busy
he
looking at
say
them.
I know the inclination with this question is to go down the lockdown route.
Okay, so
So-
lockdown is not an option.
No, well, I mean, if it is, it is. But let's see what you say. What one thing that you are currently not allowed to do would you most like to do?
Hugs!
I'd like to kill a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you said it first because that was my first thought. I went, oh, don't say that, Steph. and then you said it. So now, yeah, I'd kill people.
If I could, if it was only me who'd get away with it, I would very much like to commit acts of grand larceny.
What's grand larceny?
It's just stealing loads of shit,
Okay.
or even like high level bank robbery.
Sounds-
If I could commit bank robbery, I would do that.
You know
Sounds
what?
like a
I'd
hot-
like to be as brazen as just walk into somewhere and go, "This is mine now," and then walk out.
Ah, someone's a socialist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Roller coasters.
you what?
Yeah, I fucking love roller
I haven't been able
coasters.
to go on
Oh,
roller coasters
God.
for years because of my back.
I've got a bit of a roller
Oh,
coaster.
it wasn't
story.
even like lockdown. It's just
come on,
rolled.
Mike.
So this is like maybe 10 years ago. We went to might have been Drayton Manor, and I never been bothered with that, like roller coasters or just they've never really like no interest in them. But I had like a 20-minute period where I was like, I'm going on a roller coaster.
Just for
It's
20
gonna happen.
minutes.
Just for like, I was like determined for it to happen. So we inquired, and I can't even remember which one it was. And like for some reason, everyone like in the party I was with agreed that this was a good idea. Looking back, what the fuck were we thinking? But we inquired at the park people, the customer service people, and they said, well, can you walk a bit? I was like, well, no. And then they were like,
Clue.
well, in that case, we would. I mean, ambulatory. So, so some people can, and then they were like, well, for health and safety purposes, we would advise you not. So in the end, I didn't. But looking back, I'm bloody glad because me on Nemesis.
Oh, fucking love Nemesis.
I don't like roller
Nah.
coasters.
I'm
love
a
roller
big roller coaster fan.
I love
I love a good roller coaster.
it. Mm.
No,
I don't like the ones where you go spinny round and round like this, but I like the ones where you go spinny round and round like this.
No,
No.
Can you
Roller
clip that,
coasters.
please, John? just out of context.
no. No, I don't like enclosed spaces. So the thought that when they strap you into the roller coaster, that sets off my first one. I don't like heights. I have motion sickness. I'm afraid of the
Hey,
dark.
fun.
You are
So
not
when
the
I go through
target
a tunnel-
audience for
Yeah.
a
When
roller
they-
coaster.
When they design roller coasters, they just put on the specification not for Steph.
That's what I love. I love the fact that you feel you are completely safe, like as far safe than anything like normal shit doing. That wasn't good. Great wordage. Proud.
Excellent.
But you feel like at any moment you might die, and that's how I like to live.
Like that.
That's how I like to live my life. I like to
Same.
feel like I'm this close to. I'm one fuck up away from dying. That's how I like to live. I did well today because I didn't die. Yum yum yum.
Well done.
Best way to be.
Mm.
Now you see, I can go on roller coasters. Well, I can't at the
Can
minute
you?
because of my back. But if I
And 'cause
could,
they're all
you know
shut.
what I mean. So I've done like Oblivion at Alton Towers and all that stuff. Fine. The ride that freaked me out more than anything was the big wheel in
Teacups.
Birmingham.
The big
What?
wheel.
The big wheel in Birmingham fucking terrified me.
Why? Is it
I
because
think.
Are you scared of heights?
Yes, I'm terrified of heights, but I think
Ah,
what
that's
it
it.
is
And
on a
why is she
roller
going-
coaster, you're strapped in. You feel,
And
Yeah.
it's really quick as well.
yeah, and you feel like I'm solid. Whereas I could just walk around that pod, and I was like, "Oh God, I'm gonna fall! I'm gonna fall! I'm gonna fall!"
You mean like the London Eye?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, the London Eye's all right.
couldn't go on the London Eye.
No, I was all right with that.
In
It
fact,
doesn't. It does feel safe when you're on it because they're quite thick, aren't they? The pods.
Yeah.
With 2 C's.
well, you say that. When I
Yeah.
went to Bratislava, if you look at the bridge over the Danube at Bratislava, there's this big, tall thing that looks like a UFO. And it's a viewing platform and a restaurant.
Okay.
So we went up there. We're in the viewing platform, and I'm just standing in the middle, as far away from the walls as possible.
I can see everything I need to see from here. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
My mate's there, like with his phone over the wall. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm okay here.
Yeah, but I was like that. I'm like that.
I like it. I like scaring myself.
And we
So I
went.
take it, Dave, when the offer came for like those restaurants that they put like up in the air, so you have a table that's suspended in air, me and you were
Yeah.
passing.
But we went down to the
Have a
restaurant.
McFlurry in the car park.
We went down to the restaurant. We were, lovely view out the windows. It's obviously solid. You're in a concrete building.
Like
You might
good.
be high up, but you're in a concrete building. And I had to say to them, "Sorry guys, can we go somewhere else? I can't sit here. I just feel like it's going to collapse."
Mm.
But did it collapse?
No, of course it didn't.
Yes, it did.
But he thought
I'm
he
not,
would
a
have
fan,
been.
I'm not a fan of. I can't even speak. I'm not a fan of glass floors.
I like it. Like I'm scared, but but I like being
there is
scared
that
by it.
initial feeling like, oh, I'm gonna
Like,
die. Oh,
what?
no.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I don't
like
know
it.
if this is oversharing, but we had when we had a house extension, we had a new bathroom suite, and the new toilet was like an inch, maybe an inch and a half higher than the old one, and my cerebral palsy was off the chain. Every time I went on it, I was like, no, I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna fall.
Oh no.
And like to the point where like I had to like have my wheelchair close by to use as like a rail on it. It's mad. And like, because it's like obviously like no one else to live with is in it. They're just looking at you going, how ridiculous are you?
Like, wait, yeah. It's amazing how much of it is like the sort of your
Yeah.
brain being like, oh no, that sets it off rather than like the sort of
Yeah, so-
environmental conditions. It's mad, isn't it?
I mean, I remember going to a climbing wall, going up a climbing wall, and I was roped up, and someone was, when they do that bee lane thing, yeah? So
Yeah.
someone had got hold of me, and I climbed up this climbing wall, 40 foot, and I remember being at the top, 1 foot, one hand, looking down, not a problem, because I felt safe, because I was roped up.
I used to do a lot of abseiling because scouts dab. Yeah, I was the most low energy dab ever. And no one's ever dabbed because of scouts before. But I was climbing. I am completely fine going up. It's the moment of, right, it's when you start abseiling, you'll lean back.
That
And then
first bit is the
I'm
worst
almost
bit.
like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm alive. Yep, this is a fucking doddle.
As soon as you get your legs straight, then
So,
you're all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where we used to do a lot of abseiling, it was...
There's a completely alien phrase to me. As soon as you get your legs straight, what is this?
I will never not find that funny.
If there's any consolation, I can't straighten my own leg at the moment, so solidarity.
I mean, I've never been able to do that either. Whether it, don't know, it's fine. I've made so many jokes out of it. Right? So yeah, it's God.
So, Mike,
it's taken what?
like when your family take you to Drake
What?
Manor or Alton Towers,
Oh,
are they doing it just to get to the front of the queue?
well, I mean, it's a nice day out, but why not? Take what you can get.
You know what I mean? Because if you can't go on the rides, I suspect they're taking you to get to the front of the queue.
Right, and concerts, it's also useful for festivals. You get slightly bigger toilets, although not entirely accessible. They're just like the accessible ones around as opposed to square cubicles.
Oh.
H has just put in the chat, mate, you've got to work the perks.
Totally.
Oh, she loves being disabled. Like she gets fuck me. the glee she gets when she gets to use the disabled parking badge is just.
Yeah, that's fucking brilliant.
I think it's worth the chronic pain.
Yeah.
Because for me it's worth the chronic pain because I don't have to suffer it.
I feel like you're walking a line here that I don't like. I'm gonna.
I just take advantage.
I had to help a guy out at the. I had to help a guy out at the Lit Fest last year in Wolverhampton. He'd come from Glasgow to do a performance.
Do I know him? Because you know we're all
but he says, "Where can I park?" He goes, "I've got a blue badge. You know, I've got the disabled badge." He says, "Can you park on the street, like, you know, in just like your normal parking bays on the street that you normally have to pay, like, it's £1 for 20 minutes, right?" He says, "In Glasgow, you could park here for free." And I'm like, and I actually phoned the council and went, "Can he park here?" And they're like, "Yep."
I think you can park anywhere, can't you? As long as it's not like red lines.
Yeah,
I think if you've got a badge, I think you can park on double yellows if you need to. I think.
Well, we know where we go to Stonehaven on the tour, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I cannot wait.
Stonehaven fireballs.
Fireballs at Stonehaven.
I'll never forget.
Paige has just put an amazing comment in the chat.
Oh no, what have I done?
I got to jump a 2-hour queue for my COVID vaccine because I went in my chair. Hilarious, given I was best equipped for the queue.
Had a seat.
Oh my god, yeah. So she didn't actually need to go at all because you know she actually had a seat.
I really like. So, also funny places to be disabled, right? Airports, because I've not been like flying for a while, but last time sort of taken in this sort of shuttle, like to the plane, like you go across the runway, but you're sort of with every other disabled person and their families on the flight. So this is sort of weird, like, element of camaraderie, sort of. Yeah.
That's really nice.
Sort of a knowing wink. And it's even funnier if you see them later on the plane, and it's like, "I know you. We were at the shuttle thing." And yeah. There is no real sort of direction to that story.
Not being a frequent flyer. Like, the only planes I've been on was the ones where they put the corridor right up to the plane, so it's all flat.
Yeah.
Average.
When I went to Bratislava and we went out on EasyJet, you're just on the tarmac, and there's just steps up to
They just
the
chuck you
plane.
out there, yeah.
And I did think...
Yeah,
I did actually think, what would Mikey do?
That's the one thing.
I've got it on a t-shirt.
I wish everyone should. That's the one thing I'd want to do is like do some dignitary, you know, come out the plane, you know, blazing sun, and like be greeted at the bottom and do the wave.
Put your sunglasses on and like, yeah.
I've done. It's all for me.
East Midlands Airport.
I mean, it is all for me anyway.
Yeah, it is all for you. Yeah.
The shed that East Midlands Airport is, it's a lovely shed, but it's a shed nonetheless.
So you said the chef.
The chef, yes, very nice chef. But yeah, you walk through from the big glass frontage to the plane on a lot of the flights. And it's
a funny word, frontage, isn't it?
Frontage.
It's quite formal, but also like the right amount of filth.
That's the second best name for the lady bits, the frontage.
No.
I'd like to see your frontage.
No.
I'd like to peruse your glass frontage if I may.
No. Don't like it. No.
Sorry, hang on. Yours was what?
Geraldine Smith.
Geraldine Smith. Let me touch your Geraldine Smith. Just aren't going to ring to it.
Oh, she's a hungry girl. See, not nice.
You made it. I didn't do.
No,
you did that.
No.
I'm so proud of myself. It's unreal.
No, make it stop.
Now Geraldine's sad.
Oh, please click that.
Can you- That's the best way. Like the guy comes to you to buy and say, "Hey, how you doing? Do you want some? You got any Mexican in here? Do you want some?" I'm like, "Geraldine is sad. Leave us be."
You've made Geraldine very sad.
A bit like Rimmer in the Red Dwarf episode where he goes insane. Mr. Pibbles is not a happy penguin. You've made Geraldine Smith very sad.
That's basically just me every day at the moment.
Oh.
Oh, because you're on drugs or because your life is terrible?
Both!
Next
It's
question.
funny 'cause it's
Yeah,
true.
next question.
What's the most disgusting thing you've had in your mouth?
I don't want to answer this question.
What was his name?
You see, you all went dirty.
No, not
You
necessarily.
all went sexual, I should say.
I didn't.
I
No, I was
didn't.
thinking of the stuff I'd made at Pizza Hut, but no, but I'm not really sure.
Kentucky Fried Chicken and a pizza.
I've never eaten a live frog, so I can't say that.
I can't hear that. I can't hear that restaurant without doing the song.
Okay, so
So somebody made a stock that wasn't quite, had some granules in it, but the stock wasn't quite
Mm.
nice. It was like, this fish is a bit salty.
Oh, when I was in sixth form, I got dared to drink this. So there was like one of those really, really old, like slightly broken, like hot drink machines with like the brown squares, and it's like Nescafe in it. And it has those plastic cups that like you clip in and it goes and puts the horrible coffee in. And somebody had ordered like coffee, but it had come out with like bits of the hot chocolate mix and just some water, and it was all like a weird congealed brown mess, and they bet me 50p to drink it, so I did, obviously. That was
Everyone's done
disgusting.
the dirty pint.
we've all done a dirty pint, you know. And
Oh yeah.
And we had at Leicester University Theatre, we had the bin, which was especially bought for this purpose. It was bought for a mate's stag do. Getting married at university, as you can predict, that marriage lasted.
Not very
months.
long.
So it was like a big black ash bin, and everyone who came into the house had to put a third of whatever they had in it.
No.
And I had absinthe.
No.
Ooh.
So this mix.
Drink it. Oh,
This
God.
mix, and also you drank it from a ladle, which was engraved, and there was a secretary of the ladle, and that was their entire responsibility, was to be the person at the party going. You drank.
Sorry, and yet I'm the one who's called a Tory. And
Yes, so this is theatre, so
Yeah,
it's fine.
this is quite.
What?
It's theatre. It's okay to have an engraved
An
ladle.
engraved ladle.
It was engraved after we left. It
I
was
don't even
engraved-
own a ladle.
You don't own anything because it's ours. Everything you own is ours because da 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 da. But yeah, there was.
I don't know what's happening.
So if
with
Hannah
me.
was to drink, it'd be like, Hannah wants a ladle, Hannah wants a ladle. Yeah, but that tasted like the worst, oldest cough mixture you could
I
imagine.
can tell you now, I don't want a ladle.
And the other thing that might be, what was I going to say?
John, click that.
Hannah doesn't want a ladle.
Let me tell you something right now. Hannah does not want a ladle.
Why Hannah no one ladle?
Just want to have a little sleeping.
Hannah wants a sleep.
Oh, next question. Come on, we'll power through.
One more. Come on, one more.
2 more questions, right? What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen at the seaside?
Oh, Western Supermare Beach is next to a power station. Orange foam that grew and got stuck to your skin.
So, what superpower do you have now?
I am condescending and ginger.
Ah, super twat.
That's an orange drink.
I am the orange twat. That's another name for it. No.
Oh,
So,
Adam.
no, stop it.
Wait, I missed it. Don't tell
You
me. I don't
don't
want to know.
wanna
I don't want to
know.
know. I don't want to know.
It would make Geraldine very sad.
Geraldine is already too sad. She doesn't want to know.
Go on, Mike.
I once saw a questionable waxwork of Nicholas Lyndhurst and
Clip that,
David-
please, John.
David Jason. Well,
When you say questionable, do you mean like it was questionable, which means it was like in blackface or something? I don't know.
no, it just wasn't very good.
I could never have guessed what that sentence was going to be.
Madame Two Swords, Madame Two Swords in Blackpool. I got thrown out of because my chair couldn't fit in the lift,
Oh no!
Oh.
and so that was literally the only thing I saw.
Just Nicholas
Is that the
Lyndhurst.
one? That one? I think is it that one or the one? There's one like in Skegness, which is the name of Two Swords, but it's not Madame Two Swords, and it's famously shit.
Oh, there's one in
Someone trying
Scarborough
to
that's
make you dance.
Scarborough.
it's like Tower of Terror, and you go in and it's like there's different like films. So there's a room where it's like, ooh, the alien from Alien's gonna pop up at you, but it's really badly done, like, and then it's like, ooh, this way to the execution chamber, and it's like someone in the electric chair, and it's all horrible, and there's like sounds, and you run through the door, and then it's like, oh no, a dinosaur, and that's a thing.
There's one
You
of
know-
those in Dublin. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
But it's like slightly off versions, so they can't get done for copyright. So it's
Oh
like,
no, this is a generic alien. Fox
Oh, no.
has told us
quickly
specify.
to Dinosaur Park.
Bum,
Oh,
bum,
no.
bum, bum,
You
bum,
know-
bum,
you know-
bum,
you know
bum,
the
bum,
maze-
bum.
Played
know
on a
the
recorder
amazing-
really badly.
You know the maze in Blackpool that's right by the scare house, or it was 25 years ago.
I think I know what you mean.
We got lost in there for about 40 minutes to an hour, and then my
The mirror
dad.
maze.
No, it's like an actual
Oh.
hedge.
Like hedges.
Yeah,
I love
Uh,
the
The
name.
Singleton maze.
and then so my dad came in to look for us. He got lost, and then
Classic.
security were called out.
They
Probably. Yeah, it was a great day. And then he'll thank me for telling this story.
they only got out last week.
No
wonder his Wi-Fi's been so bad.
The way back up in the dark took a wrong turning and ended up with a picnic.
Is that why you got the bunting behind you, Mike? Is that the celebration for finally getting out the fucking maze?
Well, let's say it is for comic value.
Let's say that, Mike.
I thought that would get more responses than it has tonight. I'm disappointed that no one has noticed.
I really
Yeah.
like it. I think
I
it
thought-
brings the
Thank you.
general
thank you.
cheeriness of the
I thought-
stream.
yeah, I thought-
I
I
quite
thought you were
like
just
it.
really, really prepared for D-Day. Like, I thought you were like, we've got nothing else to look forward to. Let's start planning it now.
Oh, yeah, oh, it's Pancake Day
Well,
next
I
week.
mean-
Maybe it's
Oh, yes.
Oh,
it
it
is.
is?
What?
Oh, that's
Pancake
good.
Day.
So what are we all giving up for Lent?
Absolutely nothing. I refuse to
giving
give up anything.
Reading.
Okay. Good luck with that.
I gave up chocolate once to prove to myself that I didn't have some sort of problem. So it turns out I didn't have a problem. Just managed to do the full 40 days. I
Woo!
didn't even have, didn't
I
even have
wanted
some
you to
days
say
off.
40 minutes.
And I don't know what I was expecting, like some sort of epiphany or something. It got to Easter Sunday. Someone handed me a tube full of Smarties, and honestly, the best thing I've ever tasted.
Mm.
It's like, well, that's 6 weeks of my life. I'll never get back.
Do you not find though, like I did the Water Aid one, so you could only drink water for a month.
Mm.
Honest to God, the day that it finished, I had a cup of tea, and I was like, nectar from the gods. Like, I don't even like tea, but like, yeah.
God, there's no way I could not drink coffee for more than a few
I knew
hours.
someone that gave up music.
What?
Like,
Why?
And we were like, what? Like,
I don't like it.
How do you police that as a thing? Like,
Yeah, because what about like
if you're in
the
a-
scores on TV programs and films?
Yeah, or like if you're in a, I don't know what they did, but like if you're in a shop and you're over here, like,
Yeah, you're in the supermarket and they got tunes on.
How, like, essentially, they sat themselves down and went, how can I make myself miserable for 40 days?
Yeah.
Oh, and in answer to you, I couldn't live without coffee on that water thing. I got to like the 2nd of January and genuinely asked my dad to take me to hospital because I thought I was dying. And my dad was like, what do you mean? I was like, I've got the shakes, I can't focus, I feel really poorly, I've got no energy. And he was like, yeah, it's been 2 days without caffeine in your system, Steph. Welcome to the real world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I
get the
did a
headaches
dry
really bad.
January in second year university, on my friends taking bets on how long it would be before I got the shakes. Yeah,
It's bad.
it
bad.
is. Especially with booze, that's dangerous. The answer is 4 days.
One year when I was having a particularly bad year, my best friends and I gave up despondency for Lent. And every time one of us said something that was like, oh, everything's shit and I hate the world, we were like, no despondency. And it actually worked for a bit.
That's good.
It's nice. How much despondency do you reckon you got rid of or got lived without?
Or more importantly, how much despondency did you bottle up?
I was going to say, yeah.
True British way.
And then the next 40 days after Lent, just being miserable because you've let it all back out again.
I hate my life.
Yeah.
Last question.
It's a good one.
As we said at the start, we've kind of started running out of stories. We've been doing this every week, with the exception of about a month.
Yeah.
For the last year and a bit. You know what I mean? So,
can I just say before the last question, I'm quite proud of us.
Yes.
I'm proud of
proud
it
of you.
as well.
We've literally kept this up for the same 4 people. Thank you very much for those 4 people.
Yeah. But you say that, Mike. You say that, Mike, but also, I think everyone in this room has said, this is a pin in our week.
Mm.
It really matters.
It's a constant.
Yeah,
so,
it's kept
and
me
there's
sane.
5 people who couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery. I'm really impressed that we've kept it going for so long. But one of us hasn't gone, I don't want to.
Yeah.
We're really trying.
Yeah.
Oh, H has put, without a doubt, a lockdown highlight.
How boring has your lockdown been?
Yeah, bloody hell.
All of our lockdown.
Everybody's lockdown been.
If you're relying on us for a week, then what?
Here's H.
Right.
I'm not shaving your head properly.
If we,
I'm going to do a bad job.
here's your question. If we didn't do Smoke Room on a Tuesday, what would you do instead?
Nah.
Cry.
Oh.
I'd nap.
I mean, the football's on now.
Oh, is it? Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's FA Cup. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like I've missed 8 months of Champions League for this shit. I haven't got a clue what's going on.
I think I would be doing what I do every night, which is sit here.
I
and
take
watch
over
it.
the world.
I'm too tired to do that, so I'll just look at Twitter for a bit and then fall asleep eventually
Yeah.
and play Animal Crossing.
Probably just be sat in my underpants going.
Literally, yeah.
Like, it's got to the point in lockdown now where I can't watch TV. I've watched too much that I would quite happily sit there and just watch the Now TV logo bounce from the screen to screen. I can't physically pick another program to binge.
Some days I sit here just with the Netflix menu on, and then it's like, oh, time for bed.
I quite like the bit I quite is
That's so fucking sad. Jesus Christ.
That's my life.
what? Oh
Not
God!
even. Oh, that's an hour gone. Oh, time for bed.
Better switch this off now and pretend to sleep for 2 hours until I finally fall asleep. Hooray!
I quite enjoy the screen after the news at 10 on BBC One, where it's just the music and the
Also, it's a banging tune, isn't it?
yeah. And also, there's a bit that sounds like putting on the Ritz, putting on the Ritz from 42nd Street.
Yeah.
Musicals again.
There's a little, you know, you love it. There's a
See,
little
when
bit.
I hear putting on the Ritz, I think Young Frankenstein first.
That's what I think of, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that,
Oh,
like that.
how our minds work.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud that we both went Pinky in the Brain at the same time.
Right? We're going to try and do it tonight.
Same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world.
Beautiful.
So if nothing else, at least this silly idea I had 18 months ago has done something for a few people.
Yeah, it's filled a few hours
It's filled a few hours.
in the dark.
Without it, I would
dark
never have
hole.
jumped in a bush.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of my highlights of the year. That was a fantastic show. That was. I'm just talking to my crotch.
It's so forgotten.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that.
We're only like what 7 weeks away from the clocks changing again. Does they go?
Oh my god, yeah.
Daylight.
Oh my god, that'll be so good.
Hi,
I'll
Anyone else feel like there's a genuine chance that it might get better?
No.
It might. It might.
It will.
Things
Mm.
can only get better.
Daniel Kitson.
That's the D-read.
Daniel Kitson Daniel Kitson did a show last
That's it,
year
that's
where he
the-
toured
that's
it
mine.
around theatres and streamed it to the same amount of audience that would have been in the theatre if it had been open.
Oh, that's cool.
To try and keep put some money in the theatre pocket sort of thing.
Mm.
And I watched one of the shows and it was brilliant. It was all different stories based off post-it notes. So we just hold a post-it note up and then go off onto this story. And then every so often he'd hold up Polaroids of different things that had happened. And the way he ended it was he took a Polaroid of himself, just put it there, and then he says, now, what's happening now, we'll soon be telling stories about. And it will be in the past. And all this will have gone on. And it's
We're
like,
not literally living in history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. Like,
in fact,
kids are gonna learn about this in
Now-
textbooks.
now I don't mean this to be the same, but you know how we look back at 9/11 and go, that changed so much.
Oh, okay, I see where you're going.
Are we going to look back at the 6th of January this year and go, oh, that changed so much?
I would like to think so, but I don't know whether we will or not.
Why
Like,
the 6th of January?
it's when the
the-
White
the
House insurrection.
Oh, all right. I was thinking about COVID for some reason.
But then also, what
Well, we'll
It's
find
got-
out when the
yeah.
impeachment trial happens.
But it's got a chance of COVID now has got a chance of changing the world for the better, and I don't mean that because I know people have died and I know people are struggling, but it seems to have awakened a few people up to.
Maybe.
Oh, actually, billionaires. That's actually a really bad thing.
Mm.
Someone being a billionaire isn't a good thing.
When there was that study that showed that the billionaires have made the same amount of money that normal people have lost, and it's like, oh, these two figures are the same. Wonder where that came from. Yeah.
Don't look into it more. We
Like
went, "What?"
$1.3 trillion or something.
So I do wonder how much is
I
it
hope
going to
so.
make things. Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose as
I mean,
fundamentally,
Yeah.
I am an
Myself.
optimist.
yeah, I like to think of myself as a humanist. I believe in people. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's going to be a generation of people who have the same sort of reaction to their grandkids coming home and going, "We're learning about World War II," and then going, "Well, when that was when I was in World War II and I was a kid."
All
Whereas there'll be
rationing.
like
Yeah.
a generation of kids coming home and going, "We're learning about coronavirus," and well, let me tell you some stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that was
was going
awful.
every
I
Tuesday
might
with
even,
my friends.
I might even have a
Yeah.
mask in the cupboard. Hang on, you can
Yeah.
take it in. Oh, it's probably got corona.
My mate's saving a box of stuff for her
Really?
kids. Like, she's got the letter that came round from Boris Johnson. She's got
Oh,
like
that's actually
like-
kind
Oh
of
my
cool.
God.
the news
Yeah.
clippings and stuff,
Amazing.
like of like the first like announcements and stuff. So like she's got it. She went. I mean, she's a teacher. She's just preempting the lesson plan. And, like, and that's all it is. Like, but yeah, like she's done all that, and like it's really, really cool. And then I kind of went, "Oh, I wish I'd done it," but I think I burnt my Boris Johnson letter.
Yeah, I think I threw it in the bin in disgust.
It's just like, ugh.
Mm.
Didn't sink. Set fire to it. Yeah.
Mikey, Jonty wants you to know that your D-Ream joke deserved a better reaction. He's in the chat going mad for it. Yeah, he's like, someone tell him. So I have told you
I'm
now.
glad someone feels that.
Yeah.
Took a lot of effort.
But you know that like that 80s ideology of there's no such thing as community and you've got to look after yourself and we shouldn't be looking after
Well,
other people.
That's bollocks now,
Right,
innit?
yeah, so that kind of neoliberalism. They can't sell that in the same way anymore because all of a sudden we've had to go through a year of, well, you know what? We've got to like wear masks to help each other out here and we've got to stay in to help each other out. And, oh, let's protect the NHS. Yeah, you know, next time let's fucking vote for them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's vote for the NHS. Let's
I
vote
think-
to protect the NHS.
Yeah.
The future is going to be split in two camps. You're going to have a nation of agrophobes who really struggle.
Way
to-
ahead of you.
Or you're
Training
going to
for this
have,
moment
like,
my entire life.
or like we're going to be like people are going to really save at the moment, like just really innocent and non-threatening touch, just like a little like tap on the shoulder, or you know, and that's really.
I was saying
So
today,
basically
like,
the
I,
first time we all meet up and you're all in a hug puddle and
Yeah.
I'm stood on the side going, "Don't touch me."
yeah.
Yeah.
with Hannah just staring at you.
Yeah. I
Let me
brought
hug you.
Purell with me. We don't even need it anymore, but I'm still going, "Leave me alone." Yeah.
It's like when you think about it, there are adults now who weren't
Yeah.
born when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Weird, isn't it?
that's mad.
Like, because everyone can remember
Like-
where they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, like to people now, like 9/11 is as far away to them as the fall of the Berlin Wall is to me. And it's like it's a thing I know about through history, but
But you see,
No.
I'm old enough to remember the fall of the
Yeah.
Berlin Wall.
I was alive then, but I wouldn't say I remember it.
My mate Kim was there, but she was unborn.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh,
So she was there.
was she
but, like,
conceived on the old Berlin Wall?
no, she was
That's not.
Was that,
Shall we?
Was that?
So hang on. When did the Berlin Wall come down?
89.
89.
There you go.
Yes, but
89.
what month?
I don't know.
I think
The past.
was it like October? I want to say.
I think it was towards the end of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
October,
Mum-
November.
She was born in end of November. I'm gonna Google it because then I'll be able to.
It was really weird at the time because there was no inclination that it was going to happen.
Yeah, 9th of November,
That's because it happened back to
and
them.
then she was.
Yeah,
her
it
birthday
just
was
kind of, you turn the news on, and it was just happening?
No, I'm not
You
joking.
know why?
It
Because
happened
of the
by
power of
accident.
David Hasselhoff.
Say that again, sorry, Adam.
It genuinely happened by accident.
Did he really?
So there were grumblings about it, and then a junior minister went on the news to talk about how they were planning on rolling it back and opening the wall up at some point, and it was going to be blah blah blah, and it was all going to end. And journalists went, "When?" And he went, "Now." And boom, the Berlin Wall fell down.
And
Because-
David Hasselhoff sang a song.
Yeah.
I'd have much preferred the story to be like someone drove into it and then went, I did it, but please, no,
Oh, it's
no,
weak
because I'm
here now.
having it.
It's got a
Like,
weak point.
Guys, put the wall back up. I was all mistake. I'm so sorry. Guys.
But in answer to your
Guys.
question, Mikey, things are going to get better.
Things
Yeah.
can only get better.
They are.
Well, they'll be vaccinated in a few months.
I've got my second part in April.
Yeah.
And we're all hoping he's there.
Oh man, what if he is?
Oh, no, that guy.
Oh!
Because if he is, that means the universe wants this to happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it is, the universe wants me to have a panic attack. That's the
Mhm.
only thing it wants. It just wants
The
me.
universe can want two things at once, Steph.
Bless you, Michael.
I can't
The
believe
universe
I
can
sneezed
want
on the internet
anything.
again.
Mhm.
Just to give Vicky.
Yeah. It will be a
Keep that
panicked call to all of you lot going, it's happening.
If he's there, you have to FaceTime us immediately.
No,
Yeah.
if he's there, she has to talk to him. She shouldn't be
No,
wasting
she
her
has to
time.
ring us so that we can look at him. She can flip her camera around and we can be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but one of you will shout something obscene.
Yeah,
Yep.
me.
My friend thinks you're beautiful. Yeah.
We will shout the following.
Turn around, you're beautiful.
Yummy. Is that too much?
No, not enough.
Fine. Yummy!
Oh my god, you need to shout it in the voice.
How dare you, sir, accuse my friend of being yummy?
Excuse me, sir. Have you ever been introduced to Geraldine Smith?
Would you like to meet my friend Geraldine? She's eager to meet you.
See, the problem is now, right, I am going to use the line, Geraldine is sad. It's a normal conversation, and then everyone's going to go, and then I'm going to either have to admit to what it means, or just go, I am insane, and leave the room.
Both of those
That's how I
options
live my life, Steph.
You need to
On
go
that
through that
note.
that list of 50 sexy footballers and tell me which one's Geraldine like.
Okay, yeah.
The Geraldine FC.
Geraldine's top 50.
Oh my god, Geraldine FC!
Oh, I want to join the fantasy league, so that could be my name. At my old work, they did a fantasy football, and like all the guys were doing it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll join in." And obviously, don't know anything about football, so I went on it, and I just picked all the players that I thought had the funniest names, and I called myself like FC Unaussprechlich, like which means unpronounceable. And so I just picked people by like, oh wow, that's just like a load of X's or something, and like, what, Snodgrass? I'm definitely having him, and I did really well. So the first month, I won Manager of the Month because I was at the top of the league. And they got the guy from finance to come and be the chair of our FA, and I had a picture of me shaking his hand, and they made me a little Manager of the Month certificate, and I got one of those Sports Direct mugs, you know, the big ones.
The ones you can take a bath in.
Yeah, so that's why I own one of those, because I accidentally did good at the fantasy football.
Oh, good old Snodgrass. Right.
Mm.
We'll end it there then. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, chat, for coming
Adam's
along.
going.
Oh, bye.
Um,
Thanks, chat. We love you.
I'm very tired. Goodbye.
Tuesday next week, we'll be back. We'll do another lock-in. Don't know what we'll do
We'll be
yet,
back.
but we'll work something out.
I will tell.
Adam needs a new computer. Hannah needs a new back.
Yes, please.
Geraldine needs to be cheered up.
Geraldine is sad. So
Get that tattooed on your back.
why are you all doing that?
Why are you doing
Starting,
it?
you know, it looks quite nice.
Oh, I am doing that.
I didn't know it was me. I thought you were doing it.
Oh God.
Hannah loves codeine. Hannah loves codeine.
Oh, my cheeks. Oh.
Was it soft? Was it at least soft?
It was nice and soft.
Fingers crossed. Hannah's still in immense pain next week, so she's still on the drugs.
Maybe. Who
You're on the
knows?
verge of tears from how soft it is.
Mhm.
Actually, Adam,
Yes.
could we do the eulogies next week?
Yeah, I know how you're all going to die.
Okay, so let's explain this for people who don't know. We had an idea of Adam writing eulogies for everyone.
Because he told a story about writing a eulogy. That's where it came from.
Yeah,
It wasn't
he
just
was
that we were
writing
like, what if we were dead?
I'm a big fan of planning the inevitable.
Yeah.
So he's not just written us eulogies,
Yeah.
he's also come up with a way we have died. So we'll do that next week. That'll be fun. Fun? Probably
That's
not the right word.
It'll be something.
Can you read mine in Matt Berry's voice?
I can do more than that. I can
you-
yes.
Can you do mine in Alan Bennett?
Do you know what? I'm game.
Can you send me a list of other voices you can do and I will pick one?
Can you do mine like Pingu's dad?
John T, click that.
I'm not giving you no. I'll do it as Pingu's dad, but an English Pingu's dad.
Okay.
English dad.
It sounds like some weird kink.
That's something to look forward to next week. Pin that one in
Yay.
your calendar. For God's sake. Hannah, put your hands down.
I'm just.
We have broken.
Use your mouth words.
No, I don't want to.
We have broken 3/5 of the show. Join us next week.
It's like
we've
two
got
ducks giving each other French kisses.
Just really soft.
We've got a Discord. I've just put the link in the chat. Follow us on the socials. Say goodbye to the YouTubes, everybody.
Goodbye, the YouTube.
Goodbye to the YouTubes,
Bye.
everybody.
YouTubes.